Otherwise, plenty of sunshine, light winds, and temperatures just getting into the low to mid-20s for the vast majority, maybe 27 or 28 across the southeast. However, the temperatures will be ticking up as we go through the next few days. Through Saturday evening, a bit more rain trickling into Northern Ireland, and we'll see showery rain spreading during the evening across parts of Scotland too. For England and Wales, again, a balmy summer's evening on Saturday evening, leading into another sunny and fine day on Sunday. We start with a lot of cloud, though, across Scotland on Sunday. The rain pushing away to the north, so sunny spells developing for central Scotland, southern Scotland and Northern Ireland. Temperatures will be a notch higher on Sunday, likely to be over 30 Celsius in places once more, before we go to the next level into the early part of next week. Extreme temperatures are likely as the high pulls away and we drop even hotter air from Spain and Portugal. That is why we have these extreme heat warnings in place, including a red warning. Keep up to date with the forecast and the warnings on the Met Office website.
We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment.
We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today.
I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory, twice baked.
Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30 Monday to Friday on GB News.
Where would you like to go?
Just take me to the studio, please, mate. You know where you're going. I've got a show to do. Friday Night Feast on GB News, 7 p.m. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We take a different angle on the week's biggest news stories. The viewers and listeners set me some absolutely mad challenges to do. We tried to rehome a rescue dog. And yes, there's some other wacky stuff in there as well. I feel like I could take on the world. Well, that's that. Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys, every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. on GB News. Be there. It's 7 p.m, it's Friday night, and it's me, Patrick Christys. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right here on GB News, we're the only channel showing the most important leadership debate of our lifetimes. It will shape the future of this great nation. Friday Night Feast, let's have it. This is Friday Night Feast, ladies and gentlemen, and we've got the absolute lot of it. It's the only channel where you can see a live leadership debate that will really affect the future of this country. We're bringing that to you very, very shortly. Do not miss that. We've got all the usual features as well, Challenge Christys, and this week, ladies and gents, I'm going to be setting a world record live on air. We've got Dog of the Week, and do you remember that bloke who left his wife for a Ukrainian refugee we moved in? Yeah, we've only gone and got him on, and he's releasing a song as well. Do not blink, because if you do, you'll miss it.
Good evening. Here's the latest news from the GB newsroom. The 5 remaining candidates in the Tory leadership contest have outlined their plans to tackle the cost of living, the war in Ukraine and the housing crisis. Rishi Sunak, Penny Mordaunt, Liz Truss, Tom Tugendhat and Kemi Badenoch took part in an online warm-up ahead of tonight's first televised debate. Meanwhile, eliminated candidate Suella Braverman has given her support to Liz Truss, saying she'll unleash the opportunities of Brexit. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer says the country needs new government, not another Tory in number 10.
We don't fear any of the candidates because the change that the United Kingdom needs is not a change at the top of the Conservative Party. We've already had 12 years of failure from the Conservative Party. The change we need, the fresh start we need for Britain, is a change of government.
The family of Archie Battersbee say they'll appeal against the latest High Court ruling that doctors can lawfully stop providing his life support treatment. It follows a review of evidence at a hearing in London today. The 12-year-old suffered a catastrophic brain injury 3 months ago. Last month, a High Court judge ruled that he was brainstem dead. His parents successfully challenged that judgment in the Court of Appeal and were fighting for treatment to continue. Speaking to GB News, Archie's mum said they won't give up.
So I can't go no further. That's my little boy. I've had, obviously not a lot of people are sceptical, but I've had healers work with Archie and they're all saying he's there and he's asking for more time. I will honour Archie. He wants more time for whatever reason he wants more time for. Whether it's to pull through or not to pull through, I will get my little boy as much time as he needs. So.
In other news, the Russian ambassador has appeared at the Foreign Office to answer questions over the death of British aid worker Paul Yuri, who died whilst in captivity in Russian-occupied Donetsk. Mr Yuri was captured in late April and charged with so-called mercenary activities by separatists in the self-proclaimed republic. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss says Russia must bear full responsibility. A man who was part of a gang that broke into former England footballer Ashley Cole's home and threatened to cut off his fingers has been jailed for 30 years. Curtis Dilks was also ordered to serve an extended licence period of 5 years. The judge at Nottingham Crown Court said the former Chelsea and Arsenal defender and his partner suffered psychological impacts that cannot be overstated. The Met Office has issued its first red extreme heat warning for parts of England on Monday and Tuesday. The highest alert means there's a danger to life amid soaring temperatures. It's as the NHS faces a surge in hospital admissions. Tuesday is expected to be the hottest day, with a chance that temperatures could reach a record-breaking 40 degrees. On TV, online and on DAB+ radio, this is GB News. Now let's get back to Patrick and the Friday Night Feast.
Good evening, everyone. This is the one and only Friday Night Feast. Now, as you may have heard, there is a seismic debate taking place tonight which could shape the future of this nation, carve a furrow right through the flipping middle of it. And, of course, as it's happening live here on GB News, we are going to assess the candidates to become the next leader of our country. We are the People's Channel, and we will, of course, be asking the questions that you, the people, want answered as we assess our contenders now to become the next Prime Minister in our live debate right here on GB News. Let's start by meeting the candidates themselves, shall we? OK, well, our first candidate, of course, we've got our first candidate in this particular election. It's completely ludicrous. And it's Joe Scotting. Joe Scotting is here for us, ladies and gentlemen. You can see Joe there. And Joe, I'm told that basically when you unveiled your main vote-winning policy at the conference recently, the place lit up. Is that correct?
Oh, it really did, Patrick. As Prime Minister, my plan is to immediately bring back cigarette advertising aimed at children. Back in the good old days, you see, I could come home from nursery and enjoy a rollie with me old man. CBeebies is being added soon, but to help pay for it, let's get it sponsored by Benson & Hedges. It could even be called CBB&H. While we're at it, I'd give Basil Brush a pack of menthols. That way we protect the arts and let our kids become free market capitalists.
Absolutely fair enough. Right, so it's as simple as that, obviously, of course. Fags for kids is your main policy, and I think that's something we can obviously all get behind, and clearly you obviously are desperate for kids to smoke. Now, our next candidate is Grace. Grace, give us your 30-second pitch, OK, so for the next PM.
So I'm Grace, and I should definitely be this great nation's next Prime Minister. Why? Because I have compassion for migrants. We are a nation of migrants. You, me, everyone in this room is the son, daughter or non-binary, asexual of a migrant. We need to show more compassion to our brothers, sisters, and non-gender specific friends. So I say, Patrick, forget about the boats. Just forget about them. We will build you a bridge between France and the UK.
Right.
And then we're going to build a wall around Kent.
Right.
So they can get here safely, but can't go any further.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, folks, is we ain't going to pay for it because I'm going to make the people of Greenland pay for it. Yeah. That's why I need your vote. Building bridges and building walls. Get over it.
Get over it. Just this migrant crisis, just get over it, right?
Get over it.
I mean, we can all agree with that. OK, well, look, thanks for that, Grace. It's fair to say that, of course, there'll be a few viewers who quite like that idea, but, you know, it's a little bit off the wall, if you don't mind me saying. But I've done my research on this. I've been to northern France. I've spoken to migrants. And, of course, they actually love the idea. They can't wait to party on the beaches of Kent. And if the people of Kent don't like the wall, well, as Grace said...
They need to get over it.
Get over it. Just get over it. Absolutely. Now, our final candidate here this evening is Joe Casper, and I'll reveal Joe to you right now. I mean, Joe Casper, what's your pitch?
I'm Joe Casper, the friendly PM. My pitch is the no gender agenda. I don't think there are enough genders to go around. I want to identify as a different gender every day of the week. And right now, there simply isn't enough. There are only 118... Only 118
Flipping heck.
different genders in the
Oh, my gosh, it's a disgrace. It's just, sorry to interrupt, Joe, but that's actually gone up today. That's actually gone up today. Your sign's upside down, by the way, mate. That's actually gone up today. OK, there are now 119 genders. Would you really believe that?
Well, that's actually great, Patrick, because that leads us more towards a utopia. I want to live in a world where there are 365 genders, one for every day of the year. But if you dare identify me wrongly on any given day, I call that a hate crime.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, obviously you don't like hate. I mean, you're all about love. So, I mean, and I suppose your motto might as well be who you're going to call when you need a new leader. It's Joe Casper, the friendly PM, isn't it? And Joe, it's a lovely story. But can I just ask, mate, what are you identifying as today?
Tonight, Patrick, I'm identifying as a GB News producer.
Right, well, I've got to be honest with you, mate. You're not doing a very convincing job of that. But anyway, I'm glad that you're happy there, one way or the other. That's the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, of course, isn't it? It's the only leadership debate worth watching at this particular time on this particular day. OK, you will definitely not see anything quite like this on any other channel. So why even bother flicking over? This is GB News. This is the People's Channel. Right, OK, there we go. So I'd like to say hello to my panel this evening as well. It's author and journalist Peter Lloyd, alongside the broadcaster and political commentator Paula London, who are basically going to be talking about our, obviously, leadership debate that's live here on GB News. But I want to hear from you, ladies and gentlemen, OK? I want to hear from you now. It's gbviews at gbnews.uk. Obviously, we're taking the mickey there, but we've got loads coming your way this evening, OK? We've got absolutely loads. But I want to know from you, on a more serious note, who are you actually backing? Because on a much worse TV channel, you know, there is a leadership debate taking place right now. Of course, you wouldn't care about that. You wouldn't want to watch it. I mean, why would you when we've got our own right here? But we do want to know who you are actually backing and why. What's the most important policy for you right now at this particular Tory leadership election? gbviews at gbnews.uk. Can I just whiz you through a little bit about what we've got coming up as well throughout the show? We are going to be doing fake news, a fan favourite. Now, on fake news, what we do is, well, I mean, we're basically kind of, it is what it says on the tin, right? So it's fake news. So what we do is we go out and we try to make up a story that's barely just believable. We're going to be rehoming a rescue dog. I've got Challenge Christys as well, where I'm going to be setting a world record live on air. We've got loads more coming tonight, and of course, as well, the Met Office has issued a extreme red warning for weather, which is basically a threat to life. We're going to be having a debate about whether or not you think that global warming is real. But first, here's what the public thought about whether or not global warming was a real thing. Are you afraid of global warming? It's a bit hot, isn't it?
I mean, I don't really think about it.
No, ever?
Not really, no.
You don't understand why people get so worked up about it?
I do, but I don't really pay attention to it too much. I mean, I probably should, but I'm not that much of an environmentalist.
Do you think it's real?
Yeah, 100%, but my mind is focused on a lot other things during this.
So there's a lot more for you that's more important than potentially
it's probably not more important, but I just haven't really thought about it too much in my life.
Okay. But in a nutshell, you wouldn't mind just a little bit of global warming, but not so much that we all burn to death.
Is this heat global warming?
Well, it depends who you listen to, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say this is global warming.
It's just summer and it's hot.
Summer? Like, this should be summer.
It's summer and it's hot. Are you afraid of global warming?
I don't know how to answer that question. No, possibly not.
Why not?
Because I never really think too much about it.
Yeah.
I care to a point, but I think it's over-exaggerated. And listen, pot, kettle, black, all the governments all fly all over the world.
They do.
To one of their conferences,
Yeah.
and the emissions that are probably leaked from that is probably more than about 50 small towns every day.
Are you afraid of global warming?
Yeah. Oh, next week, where we live, it's 37 degrees.
Yeah, but that's nice, isn't it?
No, too much. I do think we should cut emissions. I feel like it's just it's like a motivation that everyone should have. Because it's not that normal for it to be 37.
But don't you go on holiday for this kind of weather?
Yeah, to a place where that's their natural climate. We're in Great Britain, like, it's not supposed to be this hot all the time.
Do you care about global warming?
Of course.
What are you most afraid of?
The future for the children.
Do you do much yourself to, I don't know, combat global warming or anything like that?
Well, I think it's more we can do things as individuals, but it's the big corporations that've got to make moves, haven't they? And the governments have no power, it seems, to do anything.
Well, this is it. So does it seem a bit unfair that people like you and I maybe would have to pay a load more taxes or make sacrifices in our lives, but you've got people just pumping oil out of the earth and making millions of it?
Yeah, you can see it with the plastic industry, can't you? Which is a byproduct of the oil industry. And yet in this country we're still using single plastics. Why is that?
We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment. We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel. Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today.
I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory, twice baked.
Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30 Monday to Friday on GB News.
Where would you like to go?
Just take me to the studio, please, mate. You know where you're going. I've got a show to do. Friday Night Feast on GB News, 7 p.m. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We take a different angle on the week's biggest news stories. The viewers and listeners set me some absolutely mad challenges to do. We tried to rehome a rescue dog. And yes, there's some other wacky stuff in there as well. I feel like I could take on the world. Well, that's that. Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys, every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. on GB News. Be there. Welcome back, everybody. A typically chaotic start there to Friday Night Feast, but I think that's what we all expect at this point, don't we? Anyway, we've got a debate coming up, but back to the politics for the moment. OK, so the first debate between the candidates to be the new leader of the Conservative Party takes place tonight, and our political correspondent, Tom Harwood, is in the spin room. That's right. Tom, what's the spin?
That's right, Patrick. I'm in the spin room with a veritable smorgasbord of various MPs from different camps. Now, these are the MPs behind me who are supporting their different candidates for leadership. The debate begins at 7:30. It runs for an hour and a half. And then afterwards, no doubt, all of these various MPs will be trying to tell me that their particular candidate won the debate. We'll have all of the analysis, many different interviews, and everything that you need to know live here on GB News after that debate. Here's where you need to be for the analysis. We'll be sitting in here watching along with a host of journalists, a host of MPs, following every twist and turn, and then have that summary for you once it's over.
Yes, absolutely. Tom Harwood live there from the spin room. Well, I'd like to say hello now, finally, to my panel this evening. It's author and journalist Peter Lloyd, alongside the broadcaster and political commentator Paula London, who's making your debut, aren't you, I believe, on Friday Night Feast? You're more than welcome. Well, let's start with you, Peter. Who are you supporting out of the candidates so far?
I have to say, I'm Team Rishi.
Are you actually?
I really am. I'm such an
You
outlier.
like a dull man, do you?
I know, look, I know it's a really pedestrian view to take, but I just think he's got that statesman-like quality. I think he's cool and calm under pressure, and I quite like the fact that he's young and ambitious and kind of cutthroat.
You don't think he's too small to be Prime Minister?
Nah.
Do you not think even Vladimir Putin would quite literally look down on him?
Well, I was going to say, look at Putin. He didn't have any problems, did he?
No, but he is armed to the teeth.
Well, you know, I'm Team Rishi, and that's...
You're Team Rishi?
Maybe he can have some kind of stretching surgery to make himself taller. I don't know, but...
I believe so. Paul, who are you backing?
Well, I'm Team not Richie, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. That'll do for me.
When I didn't want Boris to go, I'm very upset the mainstream media drove him out. So, Penny, I don't really want an ex-reality star as our Prime Minister. Don't trust her.
Don't trust her.
Saying what we want to hear, but... You know, she doesn't believe... She just wants to get the vote, basically, from the Conservative members. She obviously has a twin brother that's an activist, and he said the Conservative Party members hate gay people, basically, so it's quite worrying. I don't like a lot of them. If I have to pick, I'd say Liz Truss, only because Jacob Rees-Mogg backs her. And I think he's fabulous, as a lot of people know.
She's Jacob's biggest fan.
Actually,
are you a fangirl?
Fabulous, yes.
Are you is he a Mog star to you? That doesn't quite work.
He is the Mog star. Like, no one can outsmart the Mog star. I think he's so bright, so traditional.
OK.
And, yes,
what do you want? So, what do you want to hear from the candidates? So, because there was an interesting poll that took place, which was basically that Rishi Sunak is the front runner, but there's a lot of that due to name recognition because he's been in the forefront, right?
Obviously.
Which is fact. That's how the world works, right? So, if you take that out of it, apparently he loses to pretty much every other candidate. And my concern would be that if you elect Rishi, or they elect Rishi, that actually they end up losing the next election because he's not that popular with the public. What do you think?
See, I disagree. I think he is quite popular with the public. He performed under a lot of pressure over the last couple of years at the front line of politics. And I especially like the fact that he's young and ambitious. But at the same time, I almost feel like it's futile. Whoever gets the top job, the Conservative Party has long lost its way. It's not really about conserving anything. It's maybe slightly slowing the decline of the country, more so than it would be under the Labour Party. But really, it doesn't conserve anything. It doesn't really have any conservative values. So I think whoever takes the top job needs to take it back to, like, a 1980s era.
What's the main issue for you? Because I've heard a lot about people talking about cutting taxes. I've heard a lot about people talking about what they do in Ukraine. I've not heard much about what they're going to do in the Channel, for example.
OK, a lot of the candidates now are talking about this, but going back to Richie, I think people are forgetting he's the highest taxing chancellor since peacetime, and he's supposed to be, you know, a conservative man. He wanted to increase corporation tax by a staggering 30%, which is... I mean, it would have gone from 19 to 25%. Labour only wanted 26%, so...
Do you think he's too rich to be in power?
I think he's awful with money. I mean, he was awful with money as a chancellor.
He's good with his own money, obviously.
Yeah, but he's going to be even worse as a Prime Minister. You know, we're in a cost of living crisis. He's never had to worry, even though his American video is demonstrating that he lived in a chemist.
I mean, there's no way that was knocked out in 24 hours, by the way.
Well, I know, like, January the 30th, a lot of people were saying that the first draft was already done. You know, I've seen an Instagram post saying, ready for Richie. That's what he was going to use, 30th of January. So it's all planned when he should have been back in our Prime Minister.
I know it's...
Back Boris, that's what he should have done.
It's very Machiavellian of him, what he's done, and it was obviously planned for a long time. But I think if you want that role so much you're willing to do that, that is the name of the game in politics.
It's a nasty business.
That's how it operates. I feel like Rishi's ambition is driven by like a personal desire to do that job, whereas Penny's, I feel like, is more opportunistic. She's kind of throwing her hat into the ring. Because she's got the opportunity.
Do you not think it would be interesting, just quickly, do you think it would be interesting if Kemi Badenoch won? Because then the Tories would have three female prime ministers and the first ethnic minority, which for a racist, sexist party is not bad going, is it?
I mean, they must be the worst sexist, racist, homophobic party.
Yeah, they're terrible at being racist and sexist.
I mean, I think they've probably also got more gay politicians than Labour Party.
I've got more than they know about.
We never know, exactly.
But hey, when did facts ever, matter to insane liberals on the left?
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. But I'm more than happy with whoever takes the top job. It would be great if it's another woman, just purely for that reason.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, Rishi has his own intersectional qualities.
I wonder where you were going with that then for a second. I could smell the defamation case coming from here for a minute there.
He's
but
obviously not an old white man, so he's got his own credentials.
That's true. What do you think about the likes of Kemi Badenoch?
Well, I think Michael Gove is backing her, and he's just been sacked for the second time. So anything that... If he's backing someone, I won't back them. So,
OK.
Yeah, no, I don't think she has enough experience. I think she has a lot of potential, but she's not ready right now. And I know a lot of people have told her to get out of the race because then she can get a better job, maybe on the front bench.
Yeah, or in the city somewhere, potentially, actually, for a lot more money. Well, look, thank you both of you very much. Obviously, you're sticking around all show. I certainly hope you are. I've not scared you off, despite that rather chaotic opening. But I do want to know what you think about the issues on tonight's show. So please make sure that you email me, gbviews@gbnews.uk. Who are you backing and indeed why? But first, the Met Office has released a video warning about what is expected to be the hottest day in British history ever. Unprecedented conditions are forecast for Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures set to hit 41 degrees. So, should we be afraid of global warming? That's what I want to know. Are you afraid of global warming? Do you think it's even a real thing? It's debate time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be joined, of course, now by Peter Batt from Extinction Rebellion and Andy Mayer, energy analyst at the Institute of Economic Affairs and also kind of resident fact-checker here, really, at GB News. Peter, I'll start with you. Can I just start by saying cracking head of hair, my man? That really is quite something.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But seriously, though, are you terrified of global warming?
I wouldn't say I'm terrified, simply because I've been used to the prospect of this happening for so long. But the consequences are certainly scary. I don't live my life terrified, but I'm certainly very worried about my last years on this planet, and certainly the future that is in front of my children. So, I mean, just because I'm not terrified every moment of the day doesn't mean it's not really terrible.
I'll just sit with you for a second, Peter, and I'll invite Andy in. What are you most scared about? So when it comes to the global warming stuff or the climate crisis, as you would see it, what specific things are you really bothered about? All that we need to change?
Sorry, you cut out for a moment then. Are you asking me...
What specific things are you worried about or that we need to change?
I'm worried about extreme weather events. I'm worried about a loss of food security. I'm worried about rising sea levels because parts of our coastline will disappear. I live on the Isle of Thanet, and the Isle of Thanet is projected to become an island again in around 15 years' time. Parts of central London will need to have loads of sea and river defences because lots of central London is projected to be flooded as well. I think there'll be lots of social movements and more refugees trying to get here. Are you still here? Hello?
Yes, I'm still here, yes. Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you what, I'll bring Andy Mayer in now. That's all right, mate. Andy, thank you very much. Andy Mayer, of course, energy analyst at the Institute of Economic Affairs. I think you heard a little bit about what Peter was saying there. What would your comeback to some of those claims be, do you think?
Well, there's no comeback. I mean, Peter's right to be worried about various consequences from global warming, and the attitude that we have more on the free market environmental side of the argument is that we're optimistic that we can do something about it. And we're optimistic in two senses. First, that the long-term solution to global warming is about finding better technology that can actually deliver the things that we enjoy now, but in a low carbon or net zero carbon way. And secondly, adaptation. So the things that Peter's worrying about in the same respect of rising sea levels, well, there is an obvious solution to that, one that's been enjoyed by the Dutch for many centuries, even before they had a modern economy. And if we see these things happening, and they will happen in a differentiated way across the world, then we need to react to that and actually build some of these defences and adapt to the changing climate. And frankly, that's something we're really good at. Over the last century, the number of people who've been killed by adverse climate events has been going down sharply. Not just a little bit, but hundreds of thousands of people are alive today that would have been killed by weather events in the past. So our general attitude should be one, this is something we can do something about, and we will do something about.
Andy, I'm just going to stick with you because I think we're struggling a little bit with Peter's connection there. Potentially it's too hot where he is and he can't obviously get online. But Andy, I will stay with you now. Do you think that there's a lack of faith in humanity in a sense of that we will be able to sort this out one day instead of having to make drastic changes to our way of lives at the minute, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, for people campaigning for people to take climate change seriously, clearly you're going to get a lot more attention if you focus on the absolute most extreme negative outcomes, regardless of whether those are very small probabilities or not. So, for example, we're talking today about whether the record temperature expected next week is going to cause excess deaths, and it will increase the number of excess deaths from heat stroke and other serious heat-related conditions. But on aggregate, 75 times more people die from the cold in the United Kingdom than they do from heat. So the net effect of rising temperatures in the United Kingdom will be more people are going to live, not more people are going to die. No comfort if you're the one person who gets heat stroke, but some comfort if you were that one person who was going to die freezing in your flat because you couldn't then afford the heating bills because of all the net zero policies.
OK, Peter, good to have you back. Sorry about that. Thank you for rejoining us. Peter back there from Extinction Rebellion. Now, I've covered a few of the Extinction Rebellion protests in London, as you can imagine, and I can't help but wonder, you seem like a perfectly rational guy with, yet again, may I say, a cracking head of hair, but a lot of the people at the Extinction Rebellion protests are just dope-smoking hippies who are unemployed, and that must let you down a bit.
I have to say that that is a hopelessly inaccurate characterisation. Among the people that I have filmed or interviewed or marched with are sort of internationally renowned scientists.
That actress who flew in on business class all the way from America, Emma Thompson, and then flew back again first class. So you've got some international backers, mate, but they're hypocrites, aren't they?
You're back again. Well, I mean, some of the stars do, but that certainly doesn't characterise the majority of XR activists. And actually, while I'm on the subject of rationality, I mean, I think that it shows the nature how biased this discussion is when we've got someone from the Institute of Economic Affairs on, an organisation known for sort of misrepresenting the science, being funded by dark money. They don't.
Well, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting that you say that, Peter. I think it's really interesting because actually anyone can donate to Extinction Rebellion, can't they? And actually, so I don't think you know where anyone's money is particularly coming from. It may shock you to know, actually, mate, that someone towards the top of the IEA was actually a former top advisor to the Liberal Democrats. You've got a lot of people who were former Labour Party members at the IEA, and that is a very, very lazy argument to try to say that it's dark money, right? It's a really lazy argument.
It's not a lazy argument.
Well, can I just say something, Peter? Right, you're on to talk about climate change. And the best argument you've got to beat Andy Mayer is to try to ask where his money comes from. So you're not really talking about the issue, are you?
No, basically what I'm saying is that this is a very skewed debate.
It's not. I'm asking you a question. You're not answering it.
Because you are standing up for the IEA.
I'm not standing up for anyone.
Which is known for misrepresenting the science. And they are obsessed with market-based solutions that we all know will never work. You know, they're doing this on behalf of vested interest. This is my opinion.
Right, that's fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion.
Trying to obstruct effective action on climate change.
Well, talking about obstructing stuff, the last time I saw Extinction Rebellion, they were committing criminal damage on the streets of London. But Andy Mayer, I'll let you come back to that.
I mean, what's to come back to there? If you can't argue the point, and he does not address anything that I've actually said about the impact of rising temperatures on the United Kingdom, his obsession with attacking market mechanisms is just sad. I mean, if you don't understand that capitalist countries are doing more to tackle the environmental challenges we face, then you simply don't understand the issue you propose to talk about. So let's look at the actual issues, which are, we are experiencing rising temperatures. We agree on that.
Can I come back on this?
Yeah,
I'll let you come back on it, but let Andy finish.
I do.
Okay.
But
All right, go on then, Peter.
I'm optimistic we're going to be able to do something about it, and quite a lot of that's going to come from private enterprise. I don't dismiss everything Extinction Rebellion does. I think you're right to draw attention to the problem. I just don't think the way that you do it is particularly helpful. You actually damage the environmental movement by being extremists and attacking people, not talking about the issues.
All right, Peter, go on.
I don't think we are extremists, because actually we're trying to highlight awareness of the issues. I think actually you're the extremist. I'm not attacking capitalism, and I'm not actually also saying that the market doesn't have a place in finding solutions. But what I am saying is that we need clear and firm regulation. We need direction set by governments, because actually even business is crying out for structure. They want more certainty in sort of like know the path ahead. And, Extinction Rebellion, I don't think we are extremists, because basically we are talking about the greatest existential threat that humanity has ever faced. And there has been, there has been no clear action taken by this country, by many corporations and businesses, and other countries, around the world. And if we didn't protest, nothing would happen.
Yeah, okay, just quickly. So, Peter, thank you very, very much. Sorry, the sound's a little bit dodgy. It's not your fault, of course. It's just the way it is sometimes. But I think most of your points that came across. All right, just very quickly. Peter, thank you. Very quickly, Andy. Peter's saying that there's been no clear action. Has there been any clear action on climate change?
That's just self-evidently not true. I mean, we are tackling carbon emissions, and we are looking around the world at better ways of adapting to the changing climate. So this idea that nothing is happening is starting on a false premise, at which point, where is Peter going next with the argument? Because he doesn't seem to understand what's actually happening in the real world.
Okay.
I didn't say that nothing is happening. I'm just saying that not enough is happening.
Yeah, but I can't help but wonder, Peter,
that atmospheric carbon dioxide is still, concentrations are still rising at a very fast rate. We are sleepwalking towards oblivion.
Well, I can't help but wonder, Peter, whether or not you'll be satisfied unless we're just sleeping in caves on a bed of moss. But there we go. Anyway, Peter, thank you very much.
Well,
Peter
nonsense.
Peter Batt from Extinction Rebellion, and Andy Mayer, energy analyst from the Institute of Economic Affairs. Thank you very, very much. I think it's time for the panel chat. Peter, your views on the climate stuff?
I wish I would have brought my boxing gloves for that, because that was
Good
great.
grief.
That was proper.
That was funny.
I thought we were going to... If it's good job they weren't in the studio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say, I am always turned off by these alarmist statements that we're heading towards oblivion. Back in the 70s, there was a Stanford professor, a very learned man, very clever guy. He wrote a book called The Population Bomb, which predicted that by the 1980s, the world would completely run out of food. He was wrong. Shortly after, there was another man, another eminent professor. He predicted that we would now be in another ice age. He was also wrong. So there is a pattern in that these alarmist predictions are always disproved. Instead, it's good to be aware of what you can do to kind of look after the Earth as custodians that we are. But I don't believe that this alarmist view is helping anyone.
I mean, Paula, it's summer, it's hot. Stop the press,
Yeah. There's two different people in the world. There's the Gary Linekers of the world.
Oh, don't get started on him.
And then there's the realists like me. I mean, we're actually doing very well. I mean, last year the government wanted 8% of new vehicles to be electric. We didn't just do that, we exceeded that by 50%. 12% of people that purchase vehicles were electric, so that obviously will help the environment. And I'm more concerned with what the activists are doing, their criminal behaviour, often... dangerous behaviour, what they're doing, that bothers me more than climate change.
Right.
And if it's a hot day, I'm like, great, I'll go to the park. It's not the end of the world. I'm not Gary Lineker that posts TikTok,
no.
like the world's ending, because that's just a moronic thing to do. But unfortunately, some people with large platforms, a lot of people believe what they read just because someone talks about football. They think that they know everything about the world, and they get scared.
Well, he was good at scoring goals. I don't give a toss what he thinks about the environment.
Well,
but people believe him.
One thing that
crazy.
people never talk about with this is that the world's biggest offender for pollution is China. Why are we focusing on China's responsibility?
This is it, isn't it? We're a little island, so...
There we go. Go on. Strap yourselves in.
You know, we do much more as a nation to support green issues than China, and yet that is always overlooked by these middle-class extremists.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right, both of you, thank you. We're off to an absolute flyer here. It's been chaos, it's been carnage. That's Friday Night Feast. Welcome to it. But after the break, it's time for Challenge Christys. And this week, we are bidding to break a long-standing world record live right here in the studio. But here's something to consider whilst we're away. What is the most expensive cocktail in the world? OK, so the most expensive cocktail in the world. Is it A, the Diamonds Are Forever Martini? Is it B, the Gold Daiquiri Finger, which sounds like something you can order in Soho? Or C, Whiskey Thunderball? OK, get back to me because we'll be back very, very shortly. I will see you in 2. We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment. We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel. Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today.
I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory, twice baked.
Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30 Monday to Friday on GB News.
Where would you like to go?
Just take me to the studio, please, Matt. You know where you're going. I've got a show to do. Friday Night Feast on GB News, 7 p.m. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We take a different angle on the week's biggest news stories. The viewers and listeners set me some absolutely mad challenges to do. We tried to rehome a rescue dog. And yes, there's some other wacky stuff in there as well. I feel like I could take on the world. Well, that's that. Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys, every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. on GB News. Be there.
Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
Hello, I'm Alex Deakin. A rare Met Office red warning has now been issued for the extreme heat likely on Monday and Tuesday. These temperatures are potentially unprecedented and likely to cause health issue and impacts on infrastructure. High pressure is moving in. Actually, it's gonna bring most of us just a fine summer's weekend, but temperatures will be ticking up more particularly early next week. Temperatures actually drop quite nicely overnight tonight, a reasonable night for sleeping. A few showers across northeastern England, they're fading away. We'll see a bit of drizzly rain in the far northwest by morning, but for most it's a dry night and a clear night, and as I said, reasonably comfortable, single figures in some rural locations. That'll lead into a pleasant summer's day on Saturday for the vast majority. Lots of blue sky. The sun is strong, though. UV levels are likely to be high. The main exception will be northern Scotland, where there will be some rain drifting across the Northern Isles and a few showers for the Highlands and the Western Isles. But otherwise, plenty of sunshine, light winds, and temperatures just getting into the low to mid-20s for the vast majority, maybe 27 or 28 across the southeast. However, the temperatures will be ticking up as we go through the next few days. Through Saturday evening, a bit more rain trickling into Northern Ireland, and we'll see showery rain spreading during the evening across parts of Scotland too. For England and Wales, again, a balmy summer's evening on Saturday evening, leading into another sunny and fine day on Sunday. We start with a lot of cloud, though, across Scotland on Sunday. The rain pushing away to the north, so sunny spells developing for central Scotland, southern Scotland and Northern Ireland. Temperatures will be a notch higher on Sunday, likely to be over 30 Celsius in places once more, before we go to the next level into the early part of next week. Extreme temperatures are likely as the high pulls away and we drop even hotter air from Spain and Portugal. That is why we have these extreme heat warnings in place, including a red warning. Keep up to date with the forecast and the warnings on the Met Office website.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Feast. Now, before the break, we asked you, what is the most expensive cocktail in the world? Is it A, the Diamonds Are Forever Martini, B, the Gold Daiquiri Finger, C, the Whiskey Thunderball? Well, I can exclusively reveal now, it's the Diamonds Are Forever Martini, which will set you back, get this, £16,000. Although it does contain a 1-carat diamond as well. So basically buying a diamond and then drinking around it. But, of course, it's that time of the week again, ladies and gentlemen, OK? It's time for Challenge Christys. Yes, and of course, as you can see, the set has changed rather, hasn't it? Not just because he's got more handsome, but we've actually we've moved a bar in, OK? So it is Challenge Christys time. Now, in a moment, we're doing a live challenge, which, let's be honest with you, is probably going to go south quite quickly. But I can tell you that we're expecting a world record to fall this very evening, live on GBNews, OK? We are about to set a world record. But if you're a regular viewer or listener, of course, you'll know that I'm building up what is the ultimate challenge. I'm getting my kit off in front of a live audience while doing a dance routine with the Dream Boys. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you laughing, mate?
Oh, no, I'm not. I didn't say anything.
Why? It's just so fun. Well, do you think I've got it?
You look like a dream boy.
Thank you very much, darling. Right, OK. They're, of course, a group of male strippers, and it's all for a good cause, by the way, as well. I'm not getting my kit off just for the sake of it. No, I would never do a thing like that, would I? I'm raising money for the mental health charity Mind. You can donate. It's justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. Justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. Now, I can reveal that so far we've raised just under £22,000, and that's raising, OK? So thank you very, very much, everyone who's donated. It really does mean so much. There's a real mental health crisis in this country, OK? Every single day, 12 men take their own lives. Suicide is the single biggest killer of men under the age of 45. And we need all the money we can get to help with people like the wonderful workers at Mind. They do great work all over the UK. If you can spare a few quid, please go to justgiving.com/fundraising/Challenge Christys. Let's save some lives. But anyway, let's get on with this challenge, OK, ladies and gentlemen. Now, recently, I've been channeling my inner Tom Cruise from Top Gun by taking to the skies. I flew a plane, I did a loop-the-loop in a plane, I landed a plane. There's nothing I can't do. Now, it's time to basically reprise one of the great man's other roles as I turn cocktail waiter. And we are so confident, OK, that I'm going to excel at this, that we've actually lined up a world record, and I'm going to beat that right now here in this studio. The world record, believe it or not, for the most cocktails made in a single minute is 18, right? And that was set by Sheldon Wiley We don't like Sheldon. In New York back in 2013. The world of cocktail making has surely moved on a bit, though, since then. I mean, bear that in mind, OK? 2013, he set that world record. Yeah, we're living in the future now, right? We've got to be able to do this. And here to help me beat that paltry, pathetic, disgraceful number, I mean, Sheldon should be ashamed of himself, OK? Is Simeon Gunn, a cocktail maestro. Simeon, how are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
So you brought your own bar in?
I do. I try my best.
Yes, absolutely. So just tell me a little bit about what you do and what, I think I can guess, but what you do and what's the crack?
Yeah, essentially Soul Stirrer. We do office parties, weddings, private events. Just basically go around and make cocktails, make people happy.
OK, good stuff. And so just talk me through the setup that we've got here. So if we're going to break a world record for the amount of cocktails, now 18 in a minute to me doesn't sound like a lot.
Well, with the glasses laid out in front of me,
we've got, by the way, sorry to interrupt, we've got 19 glasses here. They all need to have cocktails in them.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So what constitutes a cocktail?
So essentially, a cocktail has to have 3 ingredients. So I mean, in theory, a gin and tonic's a cocktail. What we're making today is mojitos. I sort of thought...
it's got harder. It's got harder quick, hasn't it? Couldn't we do, I don't know, could we do, well, I suppose wine isn't a cocktail. Wine, bit of lime? No, carry on anyway, crack on.
Yeah, so I thought we'd make a mojito. The reason being, if we tried to shake 18 cocktails, it'd probably be impossible, right?
Yes.
So we're going to go build cocktails. You can build, blend, stir and shake cocktails.
Yeah?
Yeah, and we're going to build them today because it's the easiest one to do.
OK,
Not that I don't believe in you, but...
No, of course. I mean, we chatted off air and he made it very clear that he did believe in me. But so how are we going to do this then? So we've got the glasses lined up, right? So just talk me through what I need to do to make these cocktails.
OK, well, I may as well go ahead.
Just do it. Try. You can waste one of the glasses early doors. Go on, yeah.
So I've got 2 glasses in front of me here that aren't part of the 19, so that's for the world record.
Cheers, Simeon.
So I like my bar set up quite vigorously in a certain order. So I've got my mint, which is my cheapest ingredient. Then I've got my sugar syrup. I've got my lime. I've got my Bacardi. That's all my ingredients that I need for my mojito. So this is really important.
OK.
I want you to try and use 2 hands, because 2 hands are better than 1.
You can buy me a drink first, mate.
Wow. OK. I thought that took a left turn quite quickly.
Oh, did, yeah. Crack on.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our mint. So I like to spank my mint.
Oh, well, you did that, mate. You did this show. This has become filth. OK?
You don't have to spank your mint, but my mint's in there because I'm gonna mix it up anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got my mint. We're gonna free pour today. We're not gonna use measures because I mean, who cares about measures?
Yeah, who cares about sauce? Yeah.
A little bit of sugar syrup.
So you mint your sugar syrup.
Yep. And you see, I'm using 2 hands.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Then my lime. Equal parts sugar and lime.
OK, but, you know, I've realised, actually, this might be quite tricky. Go on, OK, carry on.
You'd realised just now?
Yeah, just now,
Yep, I'm going to pop my lime in there.
Bit of lime.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then my ice.
Oh, the ice has got... We don't need the ice for a world record.
I mean, to constitute a mojito, it has to have crushed ice in it.
It's got to have ice?
Yep. And you see, I've got big scoops. I've prepared for you. I've prepared the lime.
You have, to be fair.
And I've got big scoops of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I've got my ice in there now. So, mint, sugar, lime.
Oh, I'm not going to do this one.
And then I'm going to go Bacardi. Free pouring Bacardi. It's very important that we
It just needs a splash.
So we're going to go 1,
Yeah, but not...
2,
Oh, gosh, no, it doesn't need the whole... This is a world record, this to be made. We've just got to go bang, 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 bang. OK? Just a bit of Bacardi, bit of mint, bit of lime, bit of whatever, you know, bish, bash, bosh. Real good nosh, you know?
I'll teach you properly. And then you can...
OK,
and then you can do as you wish.
Go on.
Yeah, and then I'm going to mix everything up together. Again, double-handed.
Wow.
And then I'm going back with some ice. Boom.
Gone back in with the ice.
Yeah, and that's what constitutes my
That
mojito.
is a proper mojito, is it?
Yep. And if you want to garnish it, obviously we're not going to have time when we do it, but this is my little garnish.
To be honest with you, that looks lovely.
Yeah?
That looks really nice.
It smells nice as well.
It smells nice. Well, these 2 are for you, by the way. So I'm off the beans at the minute, unfortunately, which is we've picked a bad day to see the cocktail challenge, haven't we? But there we go, yeah.
So don't blame me, but there's 2 lovely mojitos for you. So should we get ourselves...
Happy Friday. Cheers, everyone.
Well, cheers, there we go. Right, good grief. So I now have to try to break a world record live on air, yeah? I thought this was going to be so much easier than it is. So, just remind me then. So, hang on. So we're going to have to get everything in order here.
Yeah, I'm just going to move this...
So, I'm going to have to go double-handed. So,
and I go in, then out.
Oh, and double-hand it both?
Yeah, so if you get all your ingredients in order, then you know where you are, right?
Right.
So get all your ingredients in order.
I think we put them all on the same side. I can't reach over there.
If you want to do that, yeah, definitely.
So we put them on. So we've got, just to run us through, everyone, we've got a bottle of Bacardi.
Yeah.
We've got 2 bottles of Bacardi. We've got 2 bottles of lime and 2 bottles of what's that? Sugar.
Yeah, sugar syrup. So
right, nice.
two parts sugar, 1 part water.
I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it is, isn't it? Okay, so I've got 1 minute to make 19 cocktails.
Okay, so
I'm going to time you.
Is he allowed to just pour the syrup in a big long line across?
Yeah, we're going to do it in a one, mate. Yeah, we're going to do 1 ingredient at a time.
What I'd suggest is here, boom, all the way through, boom.
So in order for me to make what constitutes as an official mojito, right, it's got to have some mint, some Bacardi, some Bacardi, some ice, some lemon, and some sugar in every glass.
Well, lime.
Lime. Sorry,
Lemon's lime.
And that's it.
Yes.
So as long as every glass has a combination of those things in it, and I do 19 of them in under a minute, I set a world record.
Yeah. With the ice as well, remember?
Ice, flipping ice.
Not double ice, though.
Get the ice. The way the world's going, there won't be much ice left. Okay. So what I'm thinking of doing logistically now, then, I'm just thinking this out, is I'm going to take it 1 ingredient at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to... Oh, this is going to be tight, this, you know. This is going to be really tight.
What if you went from down here?
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So wait, I'll tell you when.
Yep.
We've got Paula timing me, so there's no way out. All right, we can't blank this,
records? Not really.
No, you can't say that. So for the world record, it's important to say, not the other one, and so definitely not the other one for legal reasons. And so I'm going to go right. Lemon. It's not lime. Sorry, I know you get touchy about your lime. Lime, Bacardi. Here we go. Sorry, I'm to be honest with you, this is ridiculous. Right, I've landed an aeroplane. I've fought a bloke in Luton, lost immediately. I've been show jumping. This is the one I'm most nervous about.
I've never seen you this nervous before.
I'm absolutely bricking it. Okay, right.
I believe in you.
Woo! So it needs mint, lime, sugar, Bacardi, ice.
Boom.
Right, okay. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got 1 minute now to try to make 19 cocktails. Shall I count you in?
Count me in, yes.
I believe in you. You can do it. Come on, Patrick.
3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
Right, the mint's going in. Mint. We've got loads here. It's all right. That's all right. Let's just do that. There we go. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Mint. Right, bit of this. Bosh.
Got it.
Right, here we go. We're in. Come on then. Let's have it. There we are. Yeah, absolutely. Have a bit of that. Boom. How long have I got?
Quick, you're halfway through.
30 seconds now. You have another 30 seconds.
We're doing this. We've done it. We've done it. Ladies and gents, we've done it.
35 seconds.
Yes.
25
Come on.
Do it.
Yes, I think we've done it.
5 seconds.
That's it, isn't it? No, sugar. We need the
15
sugar.
seconds left. 12 seconds left.
We've done it.
Is that it?
That's it. That's the cocktail.
Where's the ice? Oh, you have
The ice is in it.
55, 56,
I've done it.
57,
It's got rum. It's got all the
59,
ingredients.
60, 1 minute.
That, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, that is the perfect mojito. Right?
But you can smell that in a bar.
Wait a second, look. It's got mint. It's got ice. You can smell the lemon, or lime, whatever. Sorry about that. I know you get touchy about the lime. You can definitely smell the Bacardi. And we've got the sugar in it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a world record. We've set a world record. 19 really bad cocktails made in under a minute, right?
Incredible effort.
Can I just say, GB News has just set a world record, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, gosh, I'm actually, and this speaks volumes about my physical fitness, now out of breath from doing that, right? So you must be really impressed.
I've never been more impressed with anyone making cocktails than I just have there.
I mean, look, technically, this is the thing. I know, look, I mean, you'd send it back if someone bought it in a bar, right? But technically, we have done it. They've all got...
Shall I try one?
They've all got...
Can I taste it? Can I taste it
Hold my nose, how much of it?
Excellent.
Oh, he's a cocktail maker.
It's actually really good.
It's got all the components of a mojito. That's the point. The world records, they don't stipulate it has to be great, right? Which is just as well, really, actually. Yeah. They just say it has to have all the components in it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Challenge Christys. And we've actually flipping done it. Okay, there we go.
Wait,
Fantastic. Can I just say that was an absolute huge amount of fun. And look, mate, you're an absolute legend.
Thank you.
Just give us the name again if people want to hire you for birthdays, parties, bar mitzvahs, whatever.
Yeah, so Soul Stirrer. So www.soulstirrer.co.uk. Hit us up there on Instagram. We're at Soul Stirrer Bar, and Facebook at Soul Stirrer Bar as well.
Good lad, mate. Thank you. And can I just say as well, Simeon has gone the whole hog. He's brought a proper bar into the studio here. I know there's a lot of people. It's weird, isn't it? Because normally a lot of people clock off at about 7 p.m. and then people in this office heard there was a bar coming in, and it's absolutely packed out. You know, it's remarkable, isn't it, really? I wonder what that could be, Simeon, but there we go. Anyway, look, that was a lot of fun. Thank you very much for everyone. Obviously, if you're listening on GB News Radio, you can watch that challenge, the world record, right now on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and also on Twitter as well. Paula, do you fancy a cocktail?
I do fancy a cocktail, yes, thank you very much.
OK, good. So, well, you've got one there. That's fantastic. And Peter, obviously, but you're a fan of mixing it up.
Always. I mean, this is like breakfast for me.
This is breakfast, yeah. Well, that's what this shows. This show's always a great end to a fabulous night. You know, that's what I always say. And there you go. Never knowingly undersold here at GB News. Thank you again, Simi. You're an absolute legend. You're a great sport as well. Really, really appreciate it. But if you want to challenge me to do anything, then please do it, OK? Get in touch with me, Patrick at GB News. Stay tuned, people. There's going to be more carnage after this break. We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment.
We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel. Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood, and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today.
I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory, twice baked.
Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30 Monday to Friday on GB News.
Where would you like to go?
Just take me to the studio, please, Matt. You know where you're going. I've got a show to do. Friday Night Feast on GB News, 7 p.m. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We take a different angle on the week's biggest news stories. The viewers and listeners set me some absolutely mad challenges to do. We tried to rehome a rescue dog. And yes, there's some other wacky stuff in there as well. I feel like I could take on the world. Well, that's that. Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys, every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. on GB News. Be there. I am now a world record holder, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, in case you missed it, I managed to make 19 cocktails in under a minute, the previous world record being 18. I could have done more, but I stopped. Didn't want to make the other guy feel bad, you know. Welcome back to Friday Night Feast. We've got loads now between now and 9 p.m. We'll be talking to Tony, who quite famously left his partner for the Ukrainian refugee that they house and has now released a song about it, which I think we can all agree is deeply sensitive on his wife. Plus, or ex, I suppose. Plus, the dog who came third in a dog show while he actually went missing from home. So this dog legged it out of his house, the owners were looking for him, and he made his own way back wearing a rosette, right, that said third in the dog show. So fantastic stuff. That's in Round Your Parts. The man as well who mistakenly used toilet wipes instead of loo roll and ended up suffering burning pain in a rather sensitive area. There we go. But first, it's time for your latest headlines.
Thanks, Patrick. Here's the latest from the GB newsroom. The family of Archie Battersbee say they'll appeal against the latest High Court ruling that doctors can lawfully stop providing his life support treatment. It follows a review of evidence at a hearing in London today. The 12-year-old suffered a catastrophic brain injury 3 months ago. Last month, a High Court judge ruled that he was brainstem dead. His parents successfully challenged that judgment in the Court of Appeal and were fighting for treatment to continue. Speaking to GB News, Archie's mum said they won't give up.
So I can't go no further. That's my little boy. I've had, obviously not a lot of people are sceptical, but I've had healers work with Archie and they're all saying he's there and he's asking for more time. I will honour Archie. He wants more time for whatever reason he wants more time for. Whether it's to pull through or not to pull through, I will get my little boy as much time as he needs, so I'll keep fighting for him.
Well, the Russian ambassador has appeared at the Foreign Office to answer questions over the death of British aid worker Paul Yuri, who died whilst in captivity in Russian-occupied Donetsk. Mr Yuri was captured in late April and charged with so-called mercenary activities by separatists in the self-proclaimed republic. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss says Russia must bear full responsibility. David Venables has been found guilty of murdering his wife in 1982. The body of Brenda Venables was found hidden in a septic tank 37 years after she disappeared. The 89-year-old retired pig farmer tried to blame serial killer Fred West for her murder, but was convicted by majority verdict at Worcester Crown Court. He's expected to be sentenced next week. A man who was part of a gang that broke into former England footballer Ashley Cole's home and threatened to cut off his fingers has been jailed for 30 years. Curtis Dilks was also ordered to serve an extended licence period of 5 years. The judge at Nottingham Crown Court said the former Chelsea and Arsenal defender and his partner suffered psychological impacts that cannot be overstated. The Met Office has issued its first red extreme heat warning for parts of England on Monday and Tuesday. The highest alert means there's a danger to life amid soaring temperatures. It's as the NHS faces a surge in hospital admissions. Tuesday is expected to be the hottest day, with a chance that temperatures could reach a record-breaking 40 degrees. Records all over the place here on GB News. On TV, online and on DAB+ radio, this is GB News. Now let's get back to Patrick and the Friday Night Feast.
Yes, well, welcome back to Friday Night Feast. Now, this week in court, father of two, Tony Garnett, agreed to have no further contact with his former partner, Lorna. In case you're shouting at your TV screens now or your radio sets going, who the heck is that? Trust me, you'll know who this guy is. Garnett has 2 children with Lorna, but left her earlier this year and is now in a relationship with Sofia Karkadim, who is a Ukrainian refugee who moved in with the couple. OK, you remember this story? It was massive news, massive news. Now, Tony released a song this week, putting his side of the story out there. He joins us very, very shortly, but first, let's have a listen to this.
My kids know different and they know the truth anyway. I don't care what silly games you want to try play. They will always be my babies no matter what you say. I don't care what you have to say. My kids know different and they know the truth anyway. I don't care what silly games you want to try play. They will always be my babies no matter what you say.
Right. Tony joins me now. Tony, are you there? All right, mate.
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
Yeah, good. Look, thank you for coming on. I mean, what happened really, mate? So you left your wife for a Ukrainian refugee and you wrote a song about it?
Right, I'll explain from my terms.
Yeah, go on.
First of all, we wasn't actually married. She changed her name by a deed poll, just so we had the same surname on the birth certificates. But there was a lot more things underlining before, obviously, we went to the media started picking up on things. And a lot of it really was down to, I'd say, domestic abuse. I don't want to go into too much detail, but you know, what the media's put out there, it's not the full story and it's not the truth by any account, really.
Tell me the full story, because look, I'm like everyone else in this country, right? I read that news story just like most people, right? And what the news story was that you'd asked or invited, I suppose, a Ukrainian refugee into your home that conveniently happened to be quite a good-looking woman, and then rather conveniently after that you shortly left your wife and kids for her. But there's more to it than that, as far as you're saying.
Oh, of course, this, yeah. I mean, when the article went out on the news, they posted that I'd only known this Ukrainian refugee for 10 days. That's factually incorrect. You know, it was video calling for the whole 4 months before that, when her visa was in process. I followed Sophia from when she left Ukraine to Poland, when she went from Poland to Germany, and she encountered a lot of issues. Now, one of them included a guy in Germany, maybe around 60 years old, that offered to become her sponsor. Now, when she'd gone to his home at around 2 o'clock in the morning, he'd lit candles, give her champagne, and tried obviously advancing against her. When she's rejected these advances, he's then thrown into the streets, and she's been living rough in Germany and moving from hostel to hostel and things like that. And she also developed an eye infection while she was over in Germany. So I've been supporting her throughout all of this, looking after her. I've video calling her, showing her the family, and what I can work out, everything was going well. When she arrived in the UK, I paid for her plane ticket to come over, took her to the family, and I thought, you know, that were us doing our duty as humanitarians to look after, you know, a woman fleeing a war. But obviously, it's not gone that way from when she was there due to numerous reasons.
Just be honest with me, mate. Man to man, did you fancy her before she moved in?
No, to be honest with you, I didn't even know what she looked like until we started video calling. I just knew once this war were out there, I wanted to help anybody from Ukraine. Now, I was looking online because there was a government scheme, Homes for Ukraine, where you could essentially put your details on there and what you can offer. But I found the process to be far too slow, and I was seeing daily on Sky News about, you know, the atrocities, the war crimes that were going on. So I wanted to speed things up, essentially, to take care of a Ukrainian. I didn't care if it was male, female, I didn't care for, you know, age or anything like that. I just knew I could only look after one due to the room size that I had available.
OK, look, fair enough. Can I ask why you've now chosen to release a song about it? Just purely because, obviously, look, I've never met your original missus, as it were, or indeed your current one, of course. But it could be seen as a bit, look, you know, you've left her for a Ukrainian woman, you've got a couple of kids, and now you're releasing a song about it. Is that kosher, really, mate, you know?
No, basically, when I spoke to the media, I told them all this, you know, the true version of events. They've took snippets of what the media want to put out there. So obviously, I understand the media is a business, and they want obviously stories that people are going to be interested in. But I feel so strongly myself that people deserve to know the truth, not what they read in the media. And this has opened my eyes a lot. And it's shown to me that when you speak to the media, or when I'm reading the media now, is that the truth, or is it, you know, snippets of the truth? Now, every time I was explaining to different medias the true scale of events and why we were left, they were putting partial stuff in there. So I thought, if I release a song, it's something I've always done as like a hobby, then it's direct from me. There's no editing, there's no cutting things out, and that's the reason why I put this song out there. Now, there's a lot of legalities why the media couldn't post what I was telling them, which is, you know, it's understandable. But they painted a picture like Sophia's come over here, she's met me, we've known each other 10 days, and I've
like she's a home wrecker. Yeah, the portrayal is as though she's a bit of a home wrecker. Is it? Can I ask, has your ex-partner now got a restraining order out against you?
Well, basically, I used to see my kids pick up 2 times a week, and when I'd go up there, she'd have her and her friends there trying to intimidate Sophia. They try to come up to the car, causing damage to my vehicle. And because of this, I said to her, OK, if you want to play games like this, I will apply for a court order, which I did. So I applied for a court order, sent paperwork to her house, and when I've done this, she then applied for this restraining order, just full of lies, trying to explain that I've been abusive to her and things like that. So when I went to court, I then explained to the court that, you know, I haven't been to her house for 2 months, she's not allowed me to see the kids. If you want to give her that restraining order, you're more than welcome to do so. It won't affect my life if it helps her sleep at night. You know, it won't make no difference to my life. I don't contact her. The only contact I do need is obviously to see my children, and that is that.
I've got to be honest with you. I mean, the press portrayal of this obviously did not reflect you in the best light, right? Okay, and I think you know that as well as you know that as well as anyone. Okay, I must say, obviously, I don't necessarily. It's not my place to agree or disagree with what you've done. It's your life, mate. And let's be honest, no one's squeaky clean, Tony. Right? No one is squeaky clean at all. So there is that. But I would just like, I think I've got a panel here. We've got Paula next to me here, who's Paula London, who's obviously on the show. Just think she'd just like to ask you a couple of questions as well, maybe. What are we thinking, Paula?
Yeah, hi, Tony. Hi, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for speaking with me. I understand before Sophia come to this country, you owned a security company and you was working shifts. And apparently now since she's come over, she's had an eye operation on the National Health Service. And I believe, I would presume, she's getting disability allowance now, and you've had to give up shift work to be her carer. Is this correct?
Partially. Now, what happened?
Are you getting carer's allowance, do you mind me asking?
Again, sorry?
Are you getting carer's allowance? I presume she's getting a disability allowance.
No, I've not put a claim in on social at all.
But she's not getting disability allowance after her operation, because apparently you have to be her carer.
You're saying no then, yeah?
No, I'm not claiming carers allowance. She's not claiming disability allowance. You know, the way I see it is, when I took off this what I thought was an eye infection, they then explained to us it's a type of amoeba. It's quite rare in the UK. It's a foreign bacteria when she's had contact lenses in Germany because she couldn't wash them and things due to the situation she was in. But since then, I've been advised I can claim this and I can claim that. But it's not straightforward. One, you know, there's a lot of loops and things that I have to go through if I wanted to. But I've been using, you know, money that I've had saved up and jobs that I've had, security jobs, pubs and clubs on the weekend where I send door staff to, and we've been living that way. I mean, we are in quite some financial difficulty. However, you know, we've not claimed anything off the state or anything like that. Even the Ukrainian scheme, you know, where you can claim from the council, we've not even, you know, got that from them.
Hey, look, Tony, you know what, mate? Like I said, I'm not here to judge anyone's life, and, you know, you do you, and I do appreciate, genuinely, whether or not anyone, you know, agrees with what you've done or this, that and the other, I mean, it's your life, not theirs, and I do appreciate that you've come on national television and been pretty straight, right? You know, you've answered every question bang on.
I appreciate where you're coming from, but the way I leave my life is, a lot of people might not agree with my decisions, but as long as I know I'm doing the right thing, I will do that fully, you know, regardless of what the people might think of me. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I saved a woman from Ukraine. I then helped her while she was going through a lot of issues in Germany. Then once she's got to the UK, I've then, you know, saved her again from, you know, essentially domestic abuse.
Yeah. Hey, and also I do look, you know, that's your side of it, obviously. It's your life, you live it however you want, but at the same time, I do just want to say, you know, you have come and answered every question bang on the nose, and so fair enough to you, mate, OK? And I suppose I wish you all the best, right? I wish you all the best, especially, obviously, your former partner and kids. But there we go. It's always nice, obviously, when we're going to move on now. It's always a nice story when a missing dog is reunited with their owners, OK? We're moving on now. We're moving on from Tony, everyone. There we go. Right. When a missing dog is reunited with their owners, and it's even better when they return as a prize winner. You are not going to... This story is great, OK? So Bonnie went missing last week in West Sussex, but luckily she was found by dog lover John Wilmer, who was on his way to a dog show, right? The rest is history. I'm going to fill you all in this right now. And I'm delighted to say that here to tell us all about it are Bonnie's owners, Paula and Peter Closier, with Bonnie, who's waving at the camera right now. I absolutely love this show. Right, let's start with either of you, really. Shall we start with you, Paula? So Bonnie went missing. Right, what happened? Just talk me through it.
Slipped out the back gate, which had been left open accidentally, and went missing. Frantically searched the house for her. Couldn't find her anywhere. Told the neighbours, both sides. Both neighbours love her, so they were straight out there looking. Friends were looking. Everyone was looking frantically because we were on a main road. Couldn't find her. My husband went to the shop next door and says, anyone seen a dog? And the lady said, I saw one the other side of the road 15 minutes ago. So she'd crossed the main road and legged it up the road. And yeah, so, you know, the rest is history. You're going to tell the story?
Well, yeah.
Pete's turn.
Myself, there was about 9 of us, I think, out looking for her in total. I had a mate and his son come over just to see me anyway, and I roped them in to help my mate up because we'd gone in separate directions, and the neighbours had sort of done what they could, and I said, look, you know, it's boiling hot, just this she could literally be 5 foot the other side of a hedge and we wouldn't know. I'm just going to hope she comes home or someone's found her. And
really
maybe on the Monday, because this was on the Sunday.
Yeah, but
maybe on the Monday we'd find her.
But the really important thing here, and if people are watching this on telly, is that Bonnie's currently wearing a rosette, isn't she?
Yes.
Now, Bonnie left your house and, well, managed to find her way to a dog show, and she came third, didn't she?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think she came third in the whole show, but she came third in the rescue category.
She came third in the best rescue
How did
category.
how did she tell people that she was a rescue dog? This is nuts.
How did she tell people? Okay. So this guy was on his way to the dog show with his dogs, 2 beagles as well, and saw our little pooch running along the side of the road, and thought, hang on, that's not right. And, you know, it was down a country lane, no houses or anything. Dog lover himself thought, oh, you know, I'm going to have to stop, even though he was late for this dog show. Stopped, ran around after her because she's a monkey, and caught her, put her in his car, took a photo, put it on Facebook, and then carried on because he was late, and got to the dog show, entered his dogs, I believe, and then eventually we all sort of caught up via social media. I'd put a picture on the Facebook, and he had, and someone had married them together and said, "Is this your dog?" So we had a very quick chat, and I think while he was there, he thought, well, you know, might as well enter her in as well. She's with me. I've rescued her. I'll put her in for the rescue category. Entered her in. We didn't know this at the time. And she came third, and we had no idea until he was on his way back later on. He said, when we did chat, he said, before he went to the show, I'll bring her back later. I'm on my way through about 3 o'clock-ish. Handed her over to us and said, oh, by the way, this is her. She won the rosette. So he told us a story.
Well, can I just say, congratulations, Bonnie, and congratulations to both of you as well. We do a segment on the show coming up shortly called Dog of the Week, where we try to re-aim a rescue dog. Obviously, Bonnie doesn't need a new home anymore, although it sounds like she might have nearly done it. She might have nearly done a little while ago. But can I just say thank you, both of you, for being such good sports with this. And I think, can we have a quick round of applause for Bonnie, who I think she might have come third, but she's everyone's winner. Well done, Bonnie. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? There we go. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Paula and Peter closing it out. And, of course, the wonderful Bonnie. Hey, absolutely. It's very GB News, that, OK? The dog went missing. It didn't win. It didn't come second. It came third, right? And then it made its way home. I mean, that is what what do you make it? Are you a dog man?
No, I'm a cat guy, but I'd say the bar for celebrity is so low in this country that I reckon it's just a matter of time before Bonnie gets her own TV show, a book deal and a perfume.
She'll be on Strictly next week.
You know what? More power to her. I'm really happy to.
I just thought that was Peter Lord, by the way. Paul, I just thought that was a lovely story.
Oh, it's beautiful. I have a rescue dog. I rescued her from America, actually. Then I studied there, so now she lives in London. She's 15. And yeah, I love her.
She's 15?
Yeah, she's on heart murmur meds. Well, I call them living forever meds because I don't like saying heart murmur meds.
Yeah.
And yeah, but she's all healthy, happy.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to try to rehome a rescue dog very, very shortly, so maybe you'll fall in love with that one. You might have 2 dogs before you know it. You won't. You're a heartless cat man. Coming up, dogs on roofs, snakes in shops, and a man having sexual relations with a Hoover. That's right, it can only be around your parts. We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment.
We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel. Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood, and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today.
I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory.
twice baked. Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30 Monday to Friday on GB News.
Where would you like to go?
Just take me to the studio, please, mate. You know where you're going. I've got a show to do. Friday Night Feast on GB News, 7 p.m. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We take a different angle on the week's biggest news stories. The viewers and listeners set me some absolutely mad challenges to do. We tried to rehome a rescue dog. And yes, there's some other wacky stuff in there as well. I feel like I could take on the world. Well, that's that. Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys, every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. on GB News. Be there. Welcome back to the one and only Friday Night Feast. Now it's time to go rummaging around your parts, you heard. Yeah, OK, we dig deep to find some of the absolute gems of local news. I love local news. It's where I first cut my teeth. Some would say I didn't cut them quite enough, but it's where I first cut my teeth. And local news, tragically, is dying, OK? So I'm trying to highlight as much of it as I possibly can. Now, in Thornton Cleveley's, where you may say, me too. Firefighters came to the rescue after a very big dog bizarrely got stuck on the roof of a property. Now, police said that someone had called to report a large pigeon stranded on the roof, but it turned out to be a French bull mastiff. That's right, someone's got terrible eyesight there in wherever the heck that place is. The dog was successfully reunited with the owner after being brought down from the roof. Peter, you must have mistaken a dog for a bird a few times, have you?
Waka waka. I have to say, this is a really distressing story for me because this is clearly an example of body shaming.
Right, I see what you mean.
This dog has been body shamed.
It has.
Publicly, and
humiliated.
This constitutes a hate crime. So whoever did this, I want them to be arrested and prosecuted, and I want them to feel the full force of the law.
The full force, a full life sentence. Absolutely. Paula, do you bark or coo?
When I'm nice, I'm very nice, and when I'm bad, I'm very bad. So it just depends on the situation.
OK, fair enough. You're pro-dog. You're anti-dog. You're pro-dog.
Yes.
Yes, you're pro-cat.
Yeah.
How many cats have you got?
I actually don't own any, but I grew up with some.
Oh, OK, fair enough.
My sisters have cats, so I'm like a cat uncle.
I get what you mean.
That sounds so tragic. Oh, my God.
It's not as tragic as my cats. So I used to have a cat called Norma, right? So it's already off to a bad start, right? And she spent more time in the closet than Elton John, this cat, right? I had her for 2 weeks and I couldn't tell you what she looked like, right? She was terrified of everything. And then me and the missus split up and I literally handed her to her in a car park in a service station in Birmingham.
Oh.
Pretty tragic pet story. In Wales, a man is calling on Tesco to change the packaging of its toilet cleaning wipes. That's right, after he was left with burning pain when he mistakenly used them as loo roll for days. So 29-year-old Leon Gleed, or should that be Leon Bleed, developed soreness around his rear end and was confused until he suddenly realised that he'd been using antibacterial toilet wipes as well, loo roll. The man said, "I've come through the worst of it now. I had to use Sudocrem down there for a week." I mean, Peter, can you sympathise with any of that?
No, I mean, I think he deserves everything he gets. What a moron.
Yeah.
Why would you
What
do
an
that?
idiot.
Then why would you sell that story to a news agency and promote yourself to the country as an idiot?
If I'd done that, the last thing I would do is tell anyone.
Yeah. Again, it's just as silly. Some people think shame is fame. They think it's funny, like anything to be in the news. So even if you're embarrassing yourself.
So I've got a story that I don't think I should be telling on national news now.
Oh, come on.
But I'm going to do it.
Go on.
I once was asked to... I worked at a different channel, at a radio station, and I was asked to run the London Marathon. And I was in even worse shape than I'm in now, right? And I was given, because they thought it would be funny, I was given 2 days' notice, right? So, anyway, they put me in the VIP area with Andy Murray, right, and his mum, Judy Murray. And there are unisex toilets at the London Marathon, in the VIP area, of course. And don't like to go on about it. And
oh, Patrick, where is this going?
I decided that I needed to deep heat the back of my legs, right? But I didn't just deep heat the back of my legs. My mistake. I got, the
slightly further forward
business end, right? And the agony that I felt. So I leg it right into the unisex toilets, and I can't explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, how much pain I'm in at this point, right? It's grim, and I whack my trousers down. I didn't have a choice. Whack my trousers down, and I'm just washing it off. And as I am with one leg up over a sink like this, you know, splashing my own.
Oh, my God.
Judy Murray walks in, right, and just says to me, and I'll never forget these immortal words, "What the heck do you think you're doing?" And that's the only time I've ever met Judy Murray. So, in Liverpool, a shopper said all hell broke loose when a woman brought her 6-foot-long snake into newsagents. Judy Murray can relate. 52-year-old Alwyn Maynard had only visited newsagents for a bottle of water, but was stunned to walk in and notice a lady with a large snake wrapped around her neck. How would you deal with a 6-foot snake, Paul?
Never had the luck.
Never had the luck. There you go.
Sorry.
No, absolutely. You have to ask Judy Murray. Peter, have you ever been intimidated by a large snake?
Never intimidated.
Oh, God. Oh. Grief. OK, right. Now, a couple are converting a double-decker bus into a home in a bid to escape their £1,200 a month rent. I don't blame them, actually, to be fair. Alice Keeler and Javier Gustin have been renting a one-bedroom flat in Brighton for 2 years. Oh, getting ripped off, if you ask me. But put off buying a house by extortionate prices. The pair have bought a £9,000 bus, which they plan to renovate into a home. I mean, Paula, does living in a bus hold any appeal for you, do you think?
Definitely not, no.
You wouldn't be seen dead in a bus.
I haven't got a bus since I was about 12, so I just don't like buses in general, so I definitely want to live on one. I mean, I don't mind tubes, but I just hate the buses.
What is it about buses?
Well,
People.
I mean, I do go on YouTube a lot. I see a lot of people argue on them, or there's like a crime happens, or smelly people. I just don't want to get a bus. It's just not for me.
Well, fair enough. Do you fancy a double-decker?
Well, can we finish the show first?
Yes, we can. That's the best answer to that. No, but seriously, would you? I mean, people are like... I mean, rent is extortionate, right?
It is, but I have to say, I find these stories really naff. Like, my inner naffo-meter is, like, going like that. You know, it's too much for me. It's really contrived. It's been done a million times. Yeah. Just buy a caravan.
You know what, mate?
Or affordable
Fair
homes,
enough.
they're called now,
Just buy a caravan and don't
Fair
sell
enough.
the
Yeah, you can't call them caravans these days. World's gone mad, mate.
And don't
World's
sell
gone
the
mad.
stories to the papers.
Yeah.
Job done.
Well, to be fair, though, maybe that's helped pay for the bus, but there we go. Right, this is, to be honest with you, the particular gem in Round Your Parts. We've been saving the best till last. A retired vicar in Oxford has been put on the sex offenders register for having sexual relations with a vacuum cleaner. That's right, John Jeffs, 74, was naked apart from a pair of ladies' stockings when he was caught with the appliance. A shocked churchgoer saw him committing the act while attending a talk about Asperger's syndrome, and we believe that was actually in the church itself. I mean, this is pretty shocking stuff, Paula, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm actually quite glad the church worker was shocked, because sometimes a lot of crazy stuff does happen in church.
Well, it's been known to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not exactly squeaky clean, are they?
No.
It's not the worst thing that's ever happened at church.
No, not at all. So at least I was shocked, so that's a good thing. It doesn't happen every week.
Absolutely. Can I ask, have you ever done anything dodgy in a church? Good grief, you have, haven't you?
No.
OK, good. Whew, that's a relief. You've got us all
other places, though, but not at church.
That's it. No, but seriously, there's a fine line, isn't there? Like, I'm a pretty easygoing chap, right? I think that's pretty obvious. And each to their own. But I mean, if you get caught doing something with a Henry Hoover in a church, you should probably lose your job.
I mean, but you kept your job, though, didn't you?
I did, yeah, I did. I was found not guilty, crucially, and we'll leave that one there, Pete. So, there we go. Now, right, OK, it's time now for Patrick's hat-trick, that's right. And we start with penguins at a Japanese aquarium who are being fed cheaper fish. And let me tell you, they are not happy about it. There we go. If you're listening on radio, there's some very, very angry penguins there. They can taste the cheap in that. This was their reaction. Before the aquarium offered penguins and otters what's called Aji, apparently. But the price has gone up 20 to 30% in an aquarium. And so they switched to a cheaper alternative known as sabre or mackerel, and the penguins are literally refusing to eat it, and so are the otters, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Paula, would you support a penguin strike?
Yeah, watching that beat is actually funny, because my dog's the same. If I get her the wrong dog food, she'll look at me and be like, I'm not having that. She will not eat at all until I give her what she wants, or chicken, human food. But, yeah, no, animals some are very human-like, you know? They like what they like, and they're like, if you don't give me what I like, I won't eat, and then you'll be really worried about them, so you'll have to give them what they want.
I absolutely love that story. I think it was great. The look of sheer disdain on that penguin's face is, it's like, You taking the mick?
Right,
I'm not having
yeah.
that. No, I want my Saba, mate. I want my Saba. Anyway, right, next, a Canadian footballer misses an open goal that literally anyone could score. So...
Speaking of all whites, there goes Dyer. It deflects and will sit up nicely for him. Tracks it down, opens up to his right boot. Across towards Ricci. Second effort, it dribbles in. No! Did Akio clear that off the line himself? What in the world? Ricci had that going. Akio was trying to make sure it got over the goal line, and in the end, has a goal line stand. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is clearly going in. Willie gets there, and yes, he keeps it out himself.
Grief. Paula, what's your favourite position?
I've been single for so long, I've actually forgotten, to be honest with you. When I remember, I will let you know. I'll come back on the show and tell you.
OK, fair enough. Peter, I reckon you could have scored that.
Yeah, but, I mean, really, what did you expect? They're Canadian, they're very, very nice. But like Americans, they're not very good at football. The Canadians are so bad, they're almost as bad at football as women.
They call it hockey, ice hockey, yeah.
I'm sorry, look, women's football is dire.
To be honest with you...
It's dire.
To be honest with you, I've been to one... I've lied about this a few times, because I've had a few... This is nothing to do about women, it's just I've been to a few women's football games, and to be honest with you, the standard hasn't been great.
Yeah, don't gaslight me about women's football. It's rubbish.
Are you all right with that?
Oh, completely, yeah.
Oh,
I'm not interested in football, ladies or men. So...
It's so bad.
It's not because they're women, I'm just saying, like, it's just not
Look,
as good.
Women's football is so bad, other women don't watch it.
Yeah, I'm just not interested. I'd watch paint dry, to be honest with you.
Well, to be honest with you, it's quite difficult to argue with either of that. So there we go. Thank you very much. Right. OK, a tube driver, this is the final bit of Patrick's hat-trick now. A tube driver built a cult, important to get that word right, otherwise I get sacked, following, a cult's following. Now, obviously, she gives announcements as well, so let's take it away.
Just on the approach to Kennington, change here at Freeview, Kennington for... Any more for Morden? Come on, don't be shy. Mind doors, please. Oh, I hate these island platforms that give me the absolute fear. It's far too narrow.
I mean, I quite like that. She's kind of zhuzhed it up a bit, hasn't she? She brightens the day. I mean, what do you make of that? Do you like travelling on the tube? I know you hate buses.
I'll occasionally get the tube if I don't have to change. I mean, I'd rather walk. I'm not like a snob, but I just hate changing. I did actually get the tube last week, and it was hotter than a sauna. I was actually going to make a big
grim,
post.
Isn't it?
It was so inhumane. It shouldn't be allowed.
It's
awful,
grim.
Awful.
And what I hate, Peter, is when... Now, look, I can sometimes be a bit scruffy. I'm not always, the most well-presented person in the world. I understand that. It's a shame that I've got a TV show in a way. But what I hate is, like, smelly people. When you're on a tube... I think it's a common courtesy to, like, just put a bit of deodorant on in the morning. And you end up with someone, they're usually quite, like, morbidly obese, who's leant against that Perspex glass, their arm, their bingo wing spread like a bat wing across it. I think it's a hate crime. Do you not think that should it be illegal to be really smelly on the tube, do you think?
I mean, the tube in the summer is not an earthly paradise. Let's be honest. It's pretty grim. But I love those announcements, though, because they are so quintessentially British.
They are.
That would never happen in any other country. You'd never get that in Germany or in Japan or in America.
Well, let's be fair, the tubes would be on time in Germany.
Well, that's true. But you would never get that kind of, like, human element to it, which is what I really like about the tube.
I like it. I like someone taking something and running with it. Right, OK, well, that was Patrick's hat-trick, 3 viral clips from this week. But now it's time for Post-Person Pat. Just the right side of copyright law, that's OK. This is where I answer the questions that you all send me. And no, I don't have them to hand before, so we're doing it live, people. Let's do it live, OK? Time to read some of your emails now. Richard says, I am watching from Norway. Hey, thank you, Richard. There is no warming here. It's barely 10 degrees with wind and rain. It has been like this for nearly 2 weeks now. I've got to be honest with you, mate. I think that's what you get from Norway. OK, Pauline says, my vote will go to Liz Truss. Just watching my vote will go to Liz Truss. She's very experienced and has proved that she can deliver. Just look at the trade deals she's brought to our great country. Plus, I believe she'll put the EU in their place. Interesting, though, isn't it? Because Liz Truss, I think a lot of people, if you ask them, would say that she was a Brexiteer, but she actually voted Remain.
She's not,
Yeah, so now, whether or not it's a tragic case of someone who was dishonest to begin with, and is now revealing their true colours, i.e. she wanted to vote for Brexit and then didn't because she thought that's the way the game was going. Either way, it's not great for the girl, right? Although, to be fair, she has done a lot of trade deals. And when we sent that Mars rover up there, I was half expecting Liz Truss to be there with a contract. You know, like, right, come on, we'll do a deal on that. But you're back in Truss, aren't you?
Yeah, as a foreign secretary, I think she's good. And the fact is, Jacob Rees-Mogg is backing her, you know, and what he says goes. So,
and you're a Rishi man, aren't you? Just to remind people.
Which is, I know, incredibly unpopular.
It's very unfashionable. For a very well-dressed man, that's very unfashionable.
Well, I like to be contrary. It's my inner Quentin Crisp.
Fantastic. Well, it suits you. Leo and Penny have been in touch. Patrick, love the show as always. Thanks, guys. It's good to see you doing so well since... this is...
I can't tell one from the other.
Since playing Chunk in the Goonies.
Oh, my God.
I don't like you. No, fair enough. You know, to be fair, I shouldn't be saying this. I actually normally get Fred West. So I'll take that. I will take Chunk from the Goonies, because I do actually look a lot like Fred West. Anyway, Lynn says, don't forget, Patrick, you need 366 different genders for a leap year. Very important, absolutely. Well, Casper, the friendly Prime Minister that we had on as a candidate earlier on, he was saying that he's going to run for PM, and what he wanted to do was introduce a gender for every single day of the year, right? So there we go. And he's right. We'll need more for a leap year. Right, coming up, can I just say, we do a section called Fake News every single week, and this week it's unbelievable. You are not going to honestly, you are not going to want to miss this, OK? It is time very shortly for that fake news, and we'll see if any passers-by would vote for our fictitious Tory candidate, Joe, who we just sent out on the street to do mad stuff earlier and see if people would vote for him. Plus, we've got National Treasure and Dog of the Week as well. Goodness gracious me, we're going to have to rattle through this. I'll see you in 2. We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment.
We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel. Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood, and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today.
I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory, twice baked.
Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30 Monday to Friday on GB News.
Where would you like to go?
Just take me to the studio, please, Matt. You know where you're going. I've got a show to do. Friday Night Feast on GB News, 7 p.m. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. We take a different angle on the week's biggest news stories. The viewers and listeners set me some absolutely mad challenges to do. We tried to rehome a rescue dog. And yes, there's some other wacky stuff in there as well. I feel like I could take on the world. Well, that's that. Friday Night Feast with me, Patrick Christys, every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. on GB News. Be there.
On Mark Dolan tonight, in my big opinion, why voters should think twice about Penny Mordaunt. My latest thoughts on the race to become our next Prime Minister. In the big question, is it time to toughen up the youth of today? Should 18-year-olds have to do a year of military service to get fit and learn discipline? We'll speak to SAS hero and best-selling author Phil Campion. Plus, pop sensation Chesney Hawkes on music, money and fame. See you at 9.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Friday Night Feast. Now, coming up, we've got this week's National Treasure. We've, of course, got the one and only Dog of the week, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. But on top of that, it's time for Fake News Friday. So every week, we test the public's resolve on a completely made-up story. We just make something up that's barely believable and see if the British public will buy it. And to be honest with you, they usually do. Well, this week, with all of the focus on the race to be our next Prime Minister, you're going to love this. We invented an entirely new candidate, just called Joe, we didn't even bother really with a surname, and asked entirely innocent members of the British public if he'd get their vote for some of the policies that he's invented. Let's just find out what happened. Christys here for our fake news feature. Right, now, I thought there's the Tory leadership elections going on, of course they are, and rather inconveniently they appear to be taking place at the exact same time I'm on air, which I'm not happy about. So I thought the best thing to do is take the mick out of it. Can we invent a fake candidate with fake policies and see if we can get people to back him? Let's find out. One of the candidates, their policies, is to make public urination legal again.
That's ridiculous.
Do you ever wee in public?
No.
One of the candidates, Joe Scotting, he wants to reintroduce selling fags to kids.
Oh, I think... Define kids. What's a kid?
Anyone who's a child.
Age-wise, though.
From, like, 6 months upwards. You would not vote for someone who wanted to sell cigarettes to kids?
Yes. If there is a bit of common sense left in this world, then that should be the answer.
All right, thank you very much. There's one candidate, right? He's called Joe, and what he wants to do is reintroduce drinking alcohol in the streets. So you would back a candidate who openly drunk in public? Yeah.
Oh, he's openly drunk in public.
Do you vote for that man?
Vote
Joe. It's time for Joe, is it?
No.
You don't think that man is prime ministerial material? Got good policies.
You do?
Yeah.
Like?
Drinking in public.
Sick. Right on.
Would you vote for me? This could be our next prime minister, and you wouldn't vote for you wouldn't vote for this. No.
Good.
Well, there we go. I must say, that was a heck of a lot of fun to film. You should have seen the outtakes from that. But anyway, Paula, would you vote for Joe as Prime Minister, do you think?
Definitely not.
No, it's too much for you, Peter. I mean, what policy would you campaign for? What kind of new law do you want? What thing do you want that we haven't got already?
I really despise people who have phone conversations on speakerphone.
Oh, OK, yeah.
Like when they're on the bus or walking down the street and they have... So I'd cage those people. I think. But I was actually really surprised by that segment, because when you said it was a fake news segment, I thought you were just going to cut to CNN.
Oh, here he is. You can come back, mate. You can come back. I'll tell you what I would do in Patrick Christys' Britain, one of many things, is if people don't indicate at a roundabout, they'd just be shot on sight. So, so there's a sniper on every roundabout, right? And if you don't indicate correctly, have a bit of that, mate.
It's like in shops. If you're at a till point and you're taking too long to get your card out or your wallet or your purse, there should be a trap door that opens and you just plummet.
Pool of sharks.
Yeah.
Pool of sharks.
It's your own fault.
It's your own fault. Exactly. You knew where you were coming. You knew you were coming to the shops. You knew you were at the till. Get your wallet out. Anyway, right. Now, it's time to meet this week's National Treasure, and I am delighted to welcome Shantanu Kundu. Now, Shantanu is a medical student at the University of Liverpool. Founded, of course, the Be Free campaign, which is a mental health charity which provides counselling and wellbeing programmes for schools and communities around the country. And Shantanu is a past recipient of the Diana Award, named, of course, in memory of Princess Diana of Wales. And he's been selected as a baton bearer at the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Shantanu, thank you very, very much. Now, you are this week's National Treasure. National Treasure gets a clap on the way in, a clap on the way out, so congratulations. Fantastic. Shantanu, just tell me a little bit about what you do, then.
Yeah, so I've had the privilege of running the Be Free campaign, which is a mental health charity, trying to work with younger people, making sure that they understand what mental health is, but also get talking and getting that support as well with their mental health. I mean, after COVID, we've seen a massive decline in people's sort of well-being and how they're feeling in day-to-day life. So what we really try to do is try and empower young people and actually help support them on a continuing basis. And that's something that I hope to carry on, but also spread around the country and keep expanding.
Yeah, exactly. And can I just ask, do you mind me asking how old you are?
So I'm 22. So I just turned 22 last week.
Oh, well, happy birthday for last week. But that means you were probably about 19 or 20 when we went into the first lockdown-ish, right? And it's a really important generation, that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one who sits here and says, you know, oh, young people have had it really tough. I think there's a lot of young people who need to get on their bike, frankly, and get a wiggle on with life. However, that is a difficult period of your life to be locked down, and especially the younger ones than that as well. So you must be seeing a lot of child mental health issues now, surely?
Definitely, and that's massively increased, not only in sort of universities, but in particular in primary and secondary schools. I mean, they're missing a massive chunk of those transitioning stages, but also not getting enough sort of connection. I mean, all of us being locked up inside, at least we do get to sort of be at work or being at school online, but it's not the same. And for children, they really need that connection on a continual basis. So it's really important that we actually put a bit more investment into children's mental health, so that throughout their lives, they're looking at better outcomes, really.
So talk to me a little bit about specifically what your organisation is. I believe is it Be Free, is it? Sorry. So what do you do then? And just talk me through that, because I think that's really important, because people might be watching this show now and want to access it or want a bit of help, or maybe they know a younger person who they think is struggling. So what can they do?
Definitely. So on our website, thebefreecampaign.org, we have a lot of information about children's mental health, how to support children, but also how to get them the next stages of help. Now, if you're a school or a teacher, or you work in healthcare and you think that your young people could do with some extra support, we can come in and help by providing counselling. We can provide mental health training for teachers, for students, but also for parents as well, making sure that everyone has this holistic approach in dealing with their mental health. So making sure that we get that conversation started is really important, but taking it one step further and saying, well, actually, let's get this conversation started, but let's get you some support at the same time. And the waiting lists at the moment are ridiculously long, and so it's sort of left to us at the moment to help people. So we're working far and wide to do so.
Shantanu, thank you very, very much. Great to have you on the show. Keep up the good work, and you are literally saving lives, and I'm sure you are proud of it, but you certainly should be very proud of it. And thank you for appearing on the show as well. You are this week's national treasure. Shantanu Kundu, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Look at that. Yay, fantastic. Well done, my good man. Keep up the good work. Keep up all of the good work. Right, OK, so I'll just snip to my panel quickly now. Peter Lloyd draws me, of course. What do you make of that? Do you think that... I mean, I don't want to say... because obviously some young people... Well, a lot of young people do have issues, but do you think some of them need to man up a bit?
Yeah, I mean... That young man there is a wonderful example of someone who's very smart, very compassionate, very empathetic, and quite well dressed, I might say.
Yeah,
but
very articulate.
And his efforts should be applauded, but I really don't like the fetishization of mental health that's going on at the moment. I think a lot of young people would be much better, instead of indulging their concerns about mental health, which they think they have, they should maybe read about the Stoics and get a grip on reality.
It's interesting that. What do you think? I mean, look, I'm obviously not delving into your personal life or anything like that, but it does seem sometimes, not all the time, I'm saying sometimes, it can seem quite fashionable almost for young people to have a mental health problem.
Well, it depends. Mental health obviously is a big umbrella term,
yes.
But I do agree with you. I think a lot of people now think it's cool to have ADHD or be on the autistic spectrum. Quite a few celebrities have come out that they're autistic, and, I praise them for that. But I do sometimes worry, like, you've got through your life until 40 years of age, and now you've but you've been told that you're autistic, but you're not even taking medication. There's no medication for it. Or even some people that have ADHD don't take medication. So... I mean, a lot of people are on the spectrum. Obviously, it's a huge spectrum. I have a lot of autistic friends, and I actually get on really well with autistic people.
Yeah.
Because they're very clever and they see the world through a different lens. And the lens is often clearer and they say what they mean.
It's fascinating, actually, to see the world through a different lens. As you said, it can
better.
It can be a bit of a soup. It can be, in some cases, a bit of a superpower, actually.
Yep.
But we're going to move away from that now, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time for, I think, arguably my favourite bit of the show. It's hard to say what my favourite bit is because I love every single little bit of the show, but it is, of course, Dog of the Week, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, where we tried to find a home for a rescue dog, and we've been having some success lately, actually. Yes, that's right, because there was a period of time when more of them were getting euthanised than rehome. But anyway, tonight we are looking for a home for Danny, who is a Malinois, apparently, a Malinois breed, who is 1 year and 11 months old. He's got a chance, this one, I can sense it already. There we go. So here is Danny. He's currently living at Stray Aid Dogs and Cats Home in Durham. And he's been there for around 6 months. He looks like he will be a very welcome addition to any home. So bless him, right? This lad, who looks absolutely gorgeous, has basically spent pretty much half of his life in what I'm sure is a very good rescue home. Don't get me wrong, it looks like he's having a good time. But still, come on, give him a home, people. Have you got a heart? Lee Henderson from Stray Aid joins us now to tell us more. Hi, Lee. How are you, mate? You OK?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Right, then, tell us all, OK, about this particular dog of the week. Danny, give me the info.
Right, so he's a little bit selective on what he does and what he doesn't do. He loves toys. He's in front of us now chewing up a plastic ball. I mean, basically, he's not dog savvy. He doesn't get on with other dogs at all. So if we do rehome, obviously it's got to be somebody who's looking to give him lots of love, lots of enrichment, and basically what he needs is a home without other dogs.
I can hear the squeaking of a ball there. Is that Danny?
Yeah, it's Danny. Wait on.
Go on, try and get him in shot if we can. Look, hey, there he is. Good lad, Danny. Okay, oh, bless him. So, OK, so it would need to be a home with no other dogs. That's not that uncommon. That's all right, OK? A lot of dogs are, you know, that's not a massive issue. So a home with no other dogs. Can I ask?
We would be looking for an experienced owner as well, especially for...
OK.
He is very strong on the lead. When he is out and about walking, he can be very reactive. So maybe for a period of time till he's socialised properly, he will need a muzzle. But like I say, he's very loyal, put it that way.
OK, so, I mean, is he quite good on a walk, or is it going to be, is it a bit... Because the thing is, he's a year old. He's basically 2 years old.
It varies. Yeah, right. It varies. He's not bad around some dogs, especially if they're smaller than him, but when there's dogs of his size or a little bit bigger, he does become reactive. And like I say, he is a strong lad. So you've got to be able, and like I say, we would be looking for an experienced owner.
And what are we thinking in terms of, so experienced owner, OK? So no dogs, no other dogs, I should say. Experienced owner. Look, it's not uncommon, again, you know, no kids, presumably, I suppose, just to be safe.
Yeah.
But if you think that if you could build a relationship with Danny, if someone spent all day, every day with him, you know, like you do, he would be an absolute... Danny would be a diamond, would he?
He would be great. Like I say, when he's happy and there's not a lot going on, there's just him, his toys, and one or two people, he's in his element, you know, he's very loving.
I'd just say as well, so bless her, she's unfortunately crossed over the Rainbow Bridge now, but my former dog, Tess, or as my mum used to call her, Tessie Booty Boo, she, for the first 2 years of her life, was, I mean, she used to just, in a playful way, but she used to just fight me. I mean, you know, I'd have marks at my arm. There's a bit of rough and tumble, right? So this particular dog, Danny, is just under 2 years old. He's a big lad, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, the point is, he's got a lot of growing up to do, hasn't he, mate? So, you know, realistically, he can mature, can't he, you know?
Definitely, like I say, a lot of it's going to be about socialisation, getting him out and about, getting used to different situations, and then from there, he'll just flourish. Like I say, we just need him to go to the right home from the get-go, so he's got a better chance in life.
Now, how can people get in touch with you? If someone's there watching this right now and they've fallen in love with Danny, how do they get in touch with you?
Right, so basically, just give the centre a bell. Can I give you the number?
Please do.
Yeah, 0300 999 4247, or if you contact us via the website, which is www.strayaid.org.uk, and then obviously just get in touch with the centre from there. I mean, obviously we are doing like nighttime viewings and stuff like that, so there's a lot of availability.
Oh, fantastic.
If the right person wants to come along for them, then great.
Look, fantastic. And you know what, mate? It's great to have people like you in the world, actually, that dedicate your life to dogs like Danny and no doubt others as well, and I believe cats as well, from what we can tell about your particular centre there. Thank you very, very much. You know, you've got a bloke here, right, who's given up his Friday night, or a large chunk of it. He cares so much about this dog, doesn't he, that he wants to come on TV and try and do his best for him.
One of many.
One of many. Get yourself down there, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you're waiting for, all right? It's about time, I think, that you all got yourself down, of course, there, tried to rehome a rescue dog. Thank you very, very much. And please do try to give Danny a forever home if you can. He's 11 months old there. He's at Stray Aid Dogs and Cats Home in Durham. If you like the look of Danny, what are you waiting for? Anyway, there we go. That was Lee Henderson as well. Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, so nearly that time of the week again where I have to call it a day. These shows absolutely fly by. Can I just say, I've really enjoyed this. Thank you very much for my panel.
So much, I love that.
You've had to put up with rather a lot this evening, so thank you very much, Peter.
I mean, it's been my highlight of my week. So.
Oh, stop it, you must have had a very dull week. And thank you so much. Will you come back?
I would love to come back. I've had an excellent time. Really fun.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Paula London there we go, and I think we can all get behind that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, what time are we on now? Has anyone got a taxi for Christys?
Taxi for Christys.
It's almost time to go, but first, this was the week when a bin was arrested in Belfast, but his lawyer rubbished the prosecution case.
Arrest that bin. Oh my.
But there we go. This was also the week when 80s pop legend Rick Astley entered the race to become Prime Minister. Yes, there we go. He's never going to give you up. He's never going to let you down, run around or hurt you. That's right. Rick Astley is the man for me. It was the week as well when the fake Melania Trump was finally unveiled. Oh, look at that. And finally, we've cracked this case. And it turned out to be a plastic carton of chocolate sauce, by the way. But there we go. And finally, OK, speaking of lookalikes, my beloved producers... Oh, no. OK. So they have found a great one for me. Yes? Ah, there we go. OK, it's Come Dine With Me contestant Peter Marsh, renowned for his petulant, mean-spirited and bitter reactions coming last on the show. Thanks, everybody. That was a clip of me when I entered an asylum seeker hotel and shared a rather concerning look with one of my producers, which is, I think we need to get out of here now, mate. And that's what that look is. But, look, thank you very much, everybody. Honestly, I want to hear from you. If you've got an idea for Challenge Christys, email me, patrick@gbnews.uk. We set a world record tonight here on Friday Night Feast, ladies and gentlemen. We set the world to rights about climate change. We had a fabulous panel. We made a load of cocktails. We did it the right way. Are you not entertained? It's time now for the brilliant Mark Dolan tonight, though. I'll be back next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Love you lots. Mwah.
Hello, I'm Alex Deakin. A rare Met Office red warning has now been issued for the extreme heat likely on Monday and Tuesday. These temperatures are potentially unprecedented and likely to cause health issue and impacts on infrastructure. High pressure is moving in. Actually, it's gonna bring most of us just a fine summer's weekend, but temperatures will be ticking up, more particularly early next week. Temperatures actually drop quite nicely overnight tonight, a reasonable night for sleeping. A few showers across northeastern England, they're fading away. We'll see a bit of drizzly rain in the far northwest by morning, but for most it's a dry night and a clear night, and as I said, reasonably comfortable, single figures in some rural locations. That'll lead into a pleasant summer's day on Saturday for the vast majority. Lots of blue sky. The sun is strong, though. UV levels are likely to be high. The main exception will be northern Scotland, where there will be some rain drifting across the Northern Isles and a few showers for the Highlands and the Western Isles. But otherwise, plenty of sunshine, light winds, and temperatures just getting into the low to mid-20s for the vast majority, maybe 27 or 28 across the southeast. However, the temperatures will be ticking up as we go through the next few days. Through Saturday evening, a bit more rain trickling into Northern Ireland, and we'll see showery rain spreading during the evening across parts of Scotland too. For England and Wales, again, a balmy summer's evening on Saturday evening, leading into another sunny and fine day on Sunday. We start with a lot of cloud, though, across Scotland on Sunday. The rain pushing away to the north, so sunny spells developing for central Scotland, southern Scotland and Northern Ireland. Temperatures will be a notch higher on Sunday, likely to be over 30 Celsius in places once more before we go to the next level into the early part of next week. Extreme temperatures are likely as the high pulls away and we draw up even hotter air from Spain and Portugal. That is why we have these extreme heat warnings in place, including a red warning. Keep up to date with the forecast.